What is going on, guys? Welcome to this Python tutorial series number 3. And today we are going to be talking about data types and operators in Python. So without further ado, let's start. So obviously, I'm not going to be able to tackle all the data types and operators in this video since this is a beginner tutorial. And also, I don't want my video to be that long. Okay? So I'm just going to mention a few data types and some operators as well, but I'm going to list all the data types and some beginner operators for you to learn, or you may want to learn them on your own, right? So we are going to be talking about the data types and operators, and after that, we are going to have some sample problems, and I'm going to pause for a moment. I'm going to let you solve them on your own, and I'm going to solve them afterwards for your checking. Okay? So let's start with the first one, which is the data types. Now, there's a lot of data types in Python. So we have text type, which is the str or the string. We talked about this in the first video, I think, already. So we have the numeric type. We have the int. Again, we talked about this as well. We have the float, which is the decimal. And this is new to you guys. We have the complex. Now, the complex uses the J, which is for an engineer. Okay? So this is for engineering. So if you are an engineer or if you are an upcoming engineer, you may want to learn this and use this on your code. Okay? So the third one, we have what we call the sequence type. Now, this is for multiple items stored in a single variable. We have the list, we have the tuple, and range. Now, range is for loops. Okay, so we have the mapping type. We have the dictionary. We have the set types. We have the set and frozen set. So this set has no difference really of that in high school, where you learn set with Venn diagram, subset, superset, something like that. It has no difference with this. It's just the same. Okay. So we have the Boolean type. We have the bool. Basically, this is the truthfulness of something. We have the true and false. It gives us the values true and false. Okay. The last one, we have the binary type. Now, I don't usually use this binary data type in a daily basis. Basically, this is for memory management. I don't know if some programmers use this really, but here it is. We have the bytes, so it's dealing with memories, okay? All right. So, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to tackle all of the data types here that I've wrote. I'm just going to talk about the string, the integer, the float, and also the boolean. So I don't want to spoil anything because I'm going to some of these data types will be tackled in the preceding video of this tutorial. So make sure you check them out. All right. So now there's actually a relationship between the Boolean and the operators. So I'm going to prove them now. Okay, so we're going to move forward and we're going to talk about the operators. Now, the operators, there's a lot of types of operators as well in Python. But I'm just going to mention a few that basically that is for beginners. Okay, so we have the arithmetic operators. Now, this is for mathematics. All right. Now, we have the addition, which represents the plus sign, the subtraction, there's the minus sign, the multiplication, which represents the asterisk. We have the division, Basically, this is slash. We have additional things or operators, which is the modulus. So this is just a remainder. Okay? When you divide something, you want to get the remainder. This is what you want to use, the modulus. And it uses percent sign. And then we have the exponentiation. So this is basically like in the x squared, the x cubed. All right? So it uses the double asterisk. Okay? And lastly, we have the floor division. Now, the floor division uses double slash. Now, if you want to have an accurate quotient, you use this. Okay, you are going to have decimal numbers in your quotient. Now, if you use the floor division, you want to basically round them down. This is basically floor division, and it's going to be, the result will be in whole number. Okay, so that's it. Now let's try a few examples here in order for you to exercise some of these. So we're going to use the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, and also floor division. Okay? We're just going to leave the modulus and exponentiation here because this is for basically getting remainder, and we don't need this actually. We have the exponentiation. You can just experiment them on your own, right? Okay, so let's start with creating variables. Now you already learned how to create variables, and you already know that we can use two variables for multiple uses, right? So now we can exercise that knowledge to this arithmetic operators. So we can just use two numbers and then create operations with these operators. So we have the num1. We have, I think, let's just assign this to 50, and then num2 will be 30. Okay. Now we can use these two variables for addition. So let's try to add them together. Now, there's basically multiple ways that you can do in adding these two variables. It's either direct to the print function. So we have num1 plus num2. So you can do this. Okay. And if you print this, it's going to be 80, which is correct. 50 plus 30 is 80. Now, if you don't want to do this, as you can see, it looks terrible because it is already inside the print function. Now, you want to basically create your another variable for the process. So, for example, adding is equal to, this is another variable or the new variable, and we want to add num1 plus num2 in that variable. Basically, the addition of num1 and num2 is stored inside the adding variable. Okay? Now, if you want to print the adding, just print the adding. And then you're going to arrive in the same answer, but it will look neat and clean. Okay? So you can do that. And you can also basically, there's endless possibilities here. We can basically add the num2 again, and then add the num1, add the num2, and add the num1 again. And I don't know the result anymore, so we have 240, which is very powerful, right? So the second one is basically the subtraction. So we're just going to leave this here, and we have diff, or the difference. So we have the num1 minus num2. I forgot the underscore there. Okay. Now, if we print this alongside with the adding, we're going to have 50 minus 30, which is 20, which is correct, right? Then we're going to minus num2 again, and then minus num1. Let's see what happens. We have negative 60. Now, can I combine the addition and subtraction to one variable? Indeed, you can. Basically, you can use multiple operators um, in a single variable here. So we have n1 plus n2. We have minus num1 plus num2. You can do this, and then let's print. Oh, it's amazing. We got 0. Okay, so that is how you use the addition and subtraction. So let's proceed to the multiplication. Now, again, you can basically just use multiplication here. It doesn't um, really matter what operations you're using in a single variable. It's really all up to you, okay? But we're just going to separate them in order for you to understand this um, more directly, right? So we have the product. Let's just do the product here, variable. So we have num1 times num2. Now we're going to print the product, and the result is 1,500, which is correct. And basically, we can times this again, num2. We have 45,000. There's a lot, right? And then let's proceed to the division. So this is quotient. Now we have num1 divided by num2. Now, if you print this, we should basically have decimal numbers, because this will not, this will never be a whole number, right? So 1.666, there's a lot. So this is very powerful when you are calculating something, guys, because this is for accurate measurements, and there's a lot of decimal numbers here, which is very powerful for a programming language to acquire, right? Okay, now, how about we basically have the quotient or the floor quotient? Now, we're going to use the floor division here, which is this, which uses double slash. So, if we print this alongside these results that we gathered earlier, we have 1. So now, as I said earlier, it floors the quotient. So no matter what happens, it's just going to be 1, even if the number after the decimal is greater than 5, okay? Or greater than or equal to 5. All right? So that is how we use the floor division. So this is very helpful when you are sure that your quotient will be just whole number, okay? All right. So now you already understood. I hope you understood already the arithmetic operators in Python. So let's proceed and let's move on to the assignment operators. Now, this is the moment I'm gonna be able to prove that the Boolean has a relationship with the operator. Specifically in assignment operators. Now, we basically used variables already earlier, right? So we have assignment operator. That's basically the equal sign. This is basically for assignment of variable. So in the first name, for example, the first name variable, we use equal sign, right? Now, for example, my name is RaveWorks. So this RaveWorks, or this string, is assigned to the first name variable, which uses the equal sign. So this is the purpose of assignment operator. Now, this is the time that the Boolean has a relationship operators. There's a multiple saying that I've said that already. So we have the equals, or the double equals. Okay. Now this is pertaining to the equality of two numbers. All right. It's going to check if the first number and the second number are the same. So if they are the same, it's going to throw us a true value, and if it is not, it's going to throw us a false value. Now let's try this and let's see what happens. So for example, I have A, it is equal to 5, and then B is equal to 5 as well. So in here, they're the same, right? Or they're equal. Now if you print this, print A is double sign or double equal B, what should be the output? The output will be true. So this is the relationship between the Boolean and the operator. So you have basically for checking the equality of two numbers. We basically also have the less than. This is basically if the first number is less than the second number. And greater than, we have the first number is greater than second number. All right, so let's do some exercises with these booleans. So let's try like result A equals B. So you can do this. You can also like imitate what you did in the arithmetic operators where you assign a variable first before doing process. So you have the A. If they're equal, then if you print the result, we're going to have true value because they're the same, right? Now, what about we change the 5 into 6? Now it's going to say it's false because they're not basically the same. Now let's try result 2, and we are going to compare if the A is greater than B. Okay? Now we're going to print the result 2 as well, alongside with the result variable. Now it is true, and the double equal is false because they're not the same, and 6 is greater than 5, which is true in this case. Now let's try the less than sign. We have A less than B. Now what will it say? So we have result 3, and this is false because 5, I mean 6 is still greater than 5, which is which this not satisfies. So that is how you use the assignment operators for Boolean. Okay, now there's a lot of assignment operators aside from these four. Now, they are going to be tackled maybe in this list, tuple, range, basically set, and also dict. If I'm gonna be able to tackle them in the preceding videos of this tutorial, so make sure you check them out. All right. So basically we're done with operators. Now we're going to proceed to the sample problems. This is where the exciting part will come in, right? Now let's proceed to the sample problems. Now we have the we have 5 questions here, and I'm going to pause for a moment, and basically you can solve them on your own. And by I think 3 seconds, I'm going to solve them now. Okay, time's up. So let's solve these questions. So I basically got these questions to a grade 3 questions. I know these are basic, but from this we can already see that this programming language is very powerful, that it can solve multiple problems in one program. So we can basically create 5 programs out of this already, and basically share them to anyone who wants to learn programming as well, right? This is very powerful. Now, let's proceed to the question 1. We have the solution 1. Okay. Now, we are dealing with addition problem. We have Lucy went to the grocery store. She bought 12 packs of cookies and 16 packs of noodles. How many packs of groceries did she buy in all? So, basically, we have the packs of cookies, which is 12, and then basically packs of noodles. And we have 16. Now, we're just going to add them. So, we have total packs is equal to packs of cookies plus packs of noodles. And let's print it. We have the total packs. And if you print this, we're going to arrive to 28, which is basically correct because 12 plus 16 is 28. All right. Now let's proceed to the second question. There are 60 bird families living near the mountain. If 32 bird families flew away for winter, how many bird families were left near the mountain? So we're basically just going to subtract 60 to 32. Okay? So we have the bird families. We have 60. Actually, let's just put this total bird families. And then we have flew away birds. So it's really up to you to create these creative variables. All right. Now we have the diff or bird families left. Okay. Now we're just going to subtract the total bird families minus the flew away birds. And then we're just going to print whatever the bird families left is. Okay. And then let's run this. And we're going to be able to see that this is 28 as well, just like the solution 1. Okay. Now we have the question 3, which deals with multiplication. Brian started by making mini sandwiches. If he has 4 friends coming over and he made 3 sandwiches for each one of them, how many sandwiches did he make? All right. Now, we're basically just going to multiply 4 to 3. All right. But because basically Brian's friends are hungry to have 3 sandwiches, that's a lot. Okay. So we have solution 3. Now we have the friends. We have the 4. And we have the sandwiches, which is 3. And then we're just going to have the total sandwiches that will be made by Brian. We have the friends times sandwiches. Don't forget the asterisk as multiplication sign. Print total sandwiches. Then, if we multiply friends times sandwiches, that's going to be 12, which is basically correct. 4 times 3 is 12. All right, and last, in the arithmetic operator, we have division. So, we basically have solution 4. She counted her crayons and found out that she has 80 crayons, which she will place in crayon boxes. Every crayon box can contain 8 crayons. How many crayon boxes does she need? So, we basically have the crayons, we have the 80, and box can contain, which is 8. Okay. Now we're just going to basically divide the 80 to 8 to get the crayon boxes, right? So we have the crayon boxes, which is the crayons divided by box can contain. And then we're just going to print the crayon boxes result. All right. And as you can see here, there's a little bit of a bother for us here. So there's a little bit bothersome result here. We have a decimal place, which is it's fine, but basically it's not pleasing because this is a whole number. It should not have 0.0 or something like that. Why is it not whole number? So we basically use the floor division for this because we already know that the result will be a whole number, which is 80 divided by 8 is basically 10, right? So we use the floor division for this, and we're going to have a whole number, which is 10. Okay? So the last one, the last is for the Boolean. Our question one's answer and question two's answer are the same. Actually, this is a wrong grammar. Our questions one answer and questions two answer the same. Well, we need to find them out, or we need to find um, is it true or false. So we're going to use what we call the double equal sign because we want to know if they are basically the same. So we are going to have the solution 5 and is same. I usually use this is same. And we have the question one's answer, which is the total packs, and also the bird families left. So we have the total packs, double equal sign, don't forget about that, and the bird families left. All right, and we're going to print this is same. Are they same? It's basically true because 28 and 28 are the same. So that's pretty much it for today's video, guys. I hope you learned a lot here, right? So thank you very much for watching this, and see you guys next time in the next video.